to Natural Beauty Summit's Love and Babies, a Health Journey. I'm your host, Salome Sallehy, founder of Sugar Wax, and this here is my co-host, Angela Chung, founder of Emdash Beauty, who is going to be telling you all about our special guest today.
So our guest today is Sergio Radovcic, the founder of Diaper, a compostable plant-based diaper brand that seeks to deliver the most sustainable and healthy diaper possible. Diaper is a certified B Corporation and seeks to balance functionality with impact by committing to a sustainable supply chain and complete transparency.
Now, transparency is huge right now for the diaper industry. I actually learned a lot in this conversation and realized that when my babies were in diapers, I was grossly misinformed. So if you have diapers on your horizon or you're using diapers right now, it's super critical for you to listen to this conversation. So stay tuned for my conversation with Sergio Radovcic. Hi everyone, welcome back to Natural Beauty Summit's Love and Babies, a Health Journey. I'm super excited to be talking with Sergio Radovcic. I totally messed it up.
Radovcic.
Radovcic. It's not that hard. Radovcic. Today, who is the founder and CEO of Diaper, which is a very sustainable diaper company. And as we all know, if you've had babies or if you're having babies, diapers become a really big part of your life. So welcome to the show, Sergio.
Nice to be here.
Great. So, diapers create so much waste. And like in my experience, when I had my son, it was the most waste our household had ever produced, ever. We don't it seems kind of unavoidable. And, before I had my son, I had this whole idea about cloth diapers, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do cloth diapers because that seems like the most sustainable choice. But the more research I did about it and heard reviews and feedback from even friends who had tried it, the more impossible it seemed. So I would love to get your perspective on, because your company also produces cloth diapers. So I'd love to just get your perspective from the industry on is there a role for cloth diapers when we think about sustainability? What are some of the things that we need to take into consideration? Because you still have to wash them. I'd love to just get your take on that.
That's great. Well, my qualifications other than being the founder of the company is I'm a dad of 3. So I have certainly changed a lot of diapers. Cloth diapering is a fabulous choice for a lot of families. It certainly, if you look at your own example or my example, we all had very aspirational thoughts about how we're going to protect the future of our children by cloth diapering. The reality is that most of us, at least I'm admitting for myself, didn't make it much past the 90th day. And it wasn't because we became less, interested in the wealth and health of our planet. Is because we simply found it very hard. With 12 plus diaper changes a day, and having a need to be home, our daycares wouldn't accept non-disposable diapers. We just really started looking into energy usage as well. Unless you can combine it with additional laundry loads, between the water usage and the energy usage for drying. Very few of us have ability to air dry anymore. We live in the cities, so it really became sort of a hard to sum game, right? Where the effort we're putting in really wasn't coming out other than maybe helping us sleep better at night, which by itself is a challenge when you have little kids, right? You can't sleep at all because, the obvious exhibits A, B, and C. But look, the reality for us as a company is that we believe that choices are right for families. We think that having a choice is great, which is why we're the only disposable diaper company that also sells a cloth diaper, right? Which by itself should be counterintuitive, right? Why would you want to sell a cloth diaper when you're selling the exact opposite of it, which is disposable? Well, because our disposable diapers are built to be an interim step, something that's still disposable, but it gives you a better, more kinder, and more gentle environmental footprint. We're also openly supporting elimination communication, which is an approach entirely different than either cloth or disposable diapering, which says that you should start teaching your child as early as 6 months to go diaper free. Why do we think that's the right approach? Look, whether I win or not, economically speaking, we all get to win if the planet is healthier. And the best diaper is the last diaper you ever used, right? So we're very, very eager to reduce the use of diapers. And one way to reduce it is to stop using it at all. So again, our approach to this, if cloth diapering is in the cards for you, if you can maintain the lifestyle and optimize the energy usage, it can be a very, very good choice. If you do half and half, which we have a lot of families, they use cloth diapers for overnights and you use disposable for daycare or doing active playtime, that's a great choice as well. If you can choose responsible diapers like ours that are built with plants, eligible for composting, have carbon offsets, that's a great choice as well. And if all you can do and afford is a regular diaper, that's great as well, right?
I love that.
Yeah, you want your child to be healthy, and we know that a frequent diaper change is a great way to keep your baby, at the right spot between health and hygiene.
Absolutely. And thank you for that. Like, I think that so many of us make our diaper decisions based on, cost, convenience, availability. And my own diaper journey was really, really unexpected as well. But not all of us in the moment when, you're a new parent and you've got all the stuff that you're juggling are necessarily thinking about like the health or environmental impact of the diaper choices that we're making. You kind of get thrown into it, and then you try to find something that like you can get quickly and maybe on Amazon subscribe or something. And, that works, right? But you obviously started your company because, environmental awareness, impact, and health impact is a part of your mission. I would love to get your thoughts on, what are some of those considerations that we could be thinking about in terms of like, how do conventional versus more sustainable diapers affect our babies' health and our environment?
So I want to tell you a few things that are probably going to be pretty heretic in the industry, right? But the little known secret is that most moms don't think about diapers, right? It's not a subject you actively stress about until probably after you left the hospital, and it's been a while, right? A lot of times you receive diapers as part of your baby shower. If you're lucky enough to have a rich uncle, he buys you nicer ones, right? But mostly it's not a major concern, and rightfully so. Your major concern is your own well-being, the well-being of your baby, right? Those are the things that you're concerned about. And then, could be sufficiently shame you into thinking about environment. That's not really our objective either, right? So you're right. I mean, when I started this company, I was the least likely person to know anything about diapers, right? I didn't being qualified as a dad, I never once in my life thought about diapers. It's not really a subject that I spend any time on. And even if there was a diaper out there that can actively cure cancer, it wouldn't matter, right? I didn't have a need for one, right? And then, as you said, you were thrown into it, right? What really put me on this journey is my 200-yard walk from my house to my curb, because I was wheeling a giant garbage can full of diapers. I had 2 in parallel in diapers, right? So double the production. And, at a time when you live what I considered a plastic-free lifestyle to the maximum extent possible, with my reusable bottles and buying compostable cutlery and trying to do little things that I can, right, to minimize my impact, I was thrown into using something that literally had twice as much plastic as a bottle of Coke per change, right? And we wouldn't be seen with a bottle of Coke. And if we were, I like Coke, don't get me wrong, but if we were seen with one, we certainly wouldn't throw it in trash, right? We would bring it to recycling, right? But yet when it came to our children, the very things we want the best future for, right? Our choices were limited to producing double the garbage every time we change a diaper. So do a quick math and I'll do it for you, but 2 times a day times 3 years, it's 3,700 diapers, right?
Yeah.
By the time your baby's done. So 7,500 plastic bottles is what an average parent would dispose into landfill where they would live, by best estimates, 500 years. I like this little analogy. If Mary Arden, that's Shakespeare's mama, used diapers, conventional diapers, his diaper will still be around. So it gives you a little perspective 500 years later. So my journey to the diapering, impresario, it didn't start from building a better diaper. The ones we had were great. They contained the unspeakable and had cute prints, and they were great, right? My journey started from, why do I have to throw it in the trash, and why does it have to go to landfill? Why can't I have some choices, right? And admittedly, it's harder than I thought, like generally, right? And requires a lot of sacrifices from parents, right? It requires you to pay more often, right? Do more. Can't just roll it up in a burrito and toss it in the garbage, right? You have to put it aside or give it back to me. Requires you to look for it, right? But it's certainly a journey that we felt, it's a battle that's worth fighting, if that makes sense, right?
For sure.
It's a battle that's worth fighting.
So you talk about the plastic component in conventional diapers. Can you kind of do like a side-by-side comparison? By the way, I have one of your diapers here because I had to. I don't have any babies in diapers at the moment, but I really wanted to like feel the difference. And I'm amazed at how soft it is, how similar it is to what I had used previously, but it's made of bamboo. And I don't know if you guys can see this. It's got the line. We need the line. It's so important. And yeah, I'm like really surprised at how similar but softer and more breathable. I mean, I don't know, is breathable a bad thing when it comes to diapers?
No, actually, it's the greatest thing if you don't want to have diaper rash, right? It's diaper rash is not making you a bad mom, it's just making a wet place, right? Where bacteria grows, right? Even though we all as parents felt like incapable human beings, right? If our baby had a diaper rash. Yeah, look, that's another little secret that we learned very quickly. You have to get as close to conventional look and feel, right?
Yeah.
Because consumers expect certain level of performance. We surveyed 10,000 families before we sold a first diaper, and asked them, what will be their objections, right, to trying something that's built with more plants and built to be more sustainable. And the number one objection was, it won't work. Yeah. Because anything natural I tried didn't work, right? And they were mainly drawing parallels to, let's say, toothpaste or deodorant. And no offense to any of those companies, they're great, but mostly the performance was not on par with conventional products, right? And while you may be willing to ruin your date with a bad deodorant, just kidding, you were certainly not willing to do that in the back car of your seat with your baby, right? You didn't want that explosion, right? So sort of the penalty the parents perceived was too high for trial, right? Another thing a lot of families told us is they really wanted the product to be available in stores. Again, you're buying makeup from a new up-and-coming company, you're fine, you can wait, right? You find a diaper that you trust and your baby is accustomed to, you want to be able to drive and just pick it up, right? And get it quickly. So for us, we saw like a dual battle, right? How to get relevant enough so that stores want to partner with us. And we're right now in Whole Foods and Walmart, Amazon certainly, but also how do we make the product that matches, right? Or get close to conventional performance. So the softness is one of the attributes that we can really zero in, right? Something that's built with plants, that it doesn't have any prints. Notice that our diapers are devoid of cute characters. Again, as a father of three, I like myself, I like a Peppa Pig as much as the other guy, right? Or picking any other nice character, but I don't want inks. Inks require alcohol. They require ink itself. I think they're a necessary vanity that both increase the environmental burden of the product and also put unnecessary chemicals, as safe as they may be, right, on the diaper. So
well, what I love about a plain diaper is it feels like a canvas, so you can write like a little note for your baby.
Cute, yeah.
And you design it, set a little mindful intention, and I like the blank canvas. Actually, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, we went pretty simple. Look, even our packaging. I don't know if you had a chance to look at our packaging itself. We're the first company using paper components for packaging. We think that every little bit counts. Is it perfect? Again, no, right? But every little improvement you can make. I like to highlight we're the only diaper company with no baby on a diaper. We don't have a picture of a single baby on our box. And I'm very strong about it. It's very, very strong opinions about it. look, my baby doesn't look like yours, and that's okay. But if I select a baby on my package, it's inherently uninclusive, right? We wanted our diaper to win, not because you have cute baby, whatever ethnicity or color or shape it is. We didn't want to identify with a particularly cute baby, right? We want to sell a product to a smart consumer who wants to buy a diaper for today, but also for tomorrow, right? The diaper he needs today will be solved by a good diaper, right? The diaper needs tomorrow will be solved by a more responsible diaper.
I'd love for you to touch a little bit more on the health impact, because I mean, you briefly touched on this. You know, the fact that so many babies experience rash is because they are their little butts are being like contained in this like moist and like kind of plastic environment where, but I'll let you explain it and why the breathability is important for the health of the baby. And are there other things like, I mean, like I noticed that, you know, some diapers would react differently to moisture. And is that healthy? And I think about like women who use pads, for example, and now we're finding out that all these things for like period pads have all these awful chemicals in them that are, you know, carcinogenic and have these adverse health effects. So, can you talk a little bit about some of the things that you intentionally were trying to avoid with diaper?
Absolutely. Before I do that, if you don't mind, I'll do a quick PSA. Ask your congressman, your congresswoman, ask your representatives for legislative change in diaper labeling, just like there should be legislative change in feminine product labeling, right? Think about a category that we get to put on completely virgin skin of our babies that doesn't require disclosure of ingredients or place of manufacture in some cases. So you can walk in a store today and buy any mainstream diaper product. It would provide you with no list of what's actually in that diaper. So I find it disturbing both as a dad and as a consumer, right? That we have such an unregulated piece of industry with such a large impact. So end of PSA. But the fact is that building a great diaper that reduces chances of skin reaction starts with great ingredients. Great ingredients start with great transparency, right? If we all have equal level playing field, then I get to understand why putting a diaper A on my baby versus diaper B causes their reaction. Is it always a linear connection? No, perhaps. Different babies going to have different skin allergies, which is why we invested in something called Dermatest, which is one of the leading independent clinical trial testing. I think it's very relevant. This is not us testing in our backyard. This is hiring a dermatologist and a pediatrician for 4 weeks, 20 randomly selected babies wearing nothing but our diapers under supervision of these physicians to evaluate any skin adverse reaction. In those 20 clinical trials, not a single child of every age who used a diaper developed a single skin reaction, earning us the highest 5-star rating. Sure, self-promotion, but it's a dad promotion, right? I want to build a product that I want to put on my children, right? So I became a hero dad by not having diaper rashes, right? Can I make that claim that my diaper will not cause a diaper rash? No, right? Do I feel strongly that building a diaper with better materials, that it's clinically tested, that uses less ingredients than leading other diapers will lead to better outcomes? I think that's a pretty fair conclusion. I also want to bring up one more aspect. You talk about breathability. A lot of consumers that use our product talk about how our diapers feels wet when used versus dry when used. See, again, it's by design, right? If you go to the sports, and I had a background in ultra distance running as an example, when you run long distances, most technical clothing is designed to wick the moisture, not lock it in, right?
Yeah.
For a reason, right? You want your shirt to be wet, but your body to be dry. Both cools off your body, and it reduces friction on your actual body, right? Very similar to diapers. We engineered our diaper to move the moisture away from the inside to the outside. So the outside of the diaper will feel moist, not leak, but moist, whereas the inside will be dry. A traditional diaper keeps all the moisture in the core of a diaper because it's a plastic bag, right? Yeah. Holding it in there. Remember plastic bag? You got your fish when you were a child? It's the same bag, literally the same bag. The water did not leak. The fish lived in a bag, right? It is where the moisture is locked. So the end effect of this, again, you're not a bad parent. A moisture on a baby's skin, right, plus bacteria equates diaper rash, right? If you can remove more moisture plus general hygiene, right, reduces the chance of diaper rash. So we felt, let's get the moisture away from the skin and to the outside, even if it results in you, thanks to our nice visible line, right? You may have to change it extra times. That's okay, right? But keep the moisture away from baby's virgin skin.
Yeah. And, I really want to commend you on your transparency. I can honestly say you are one of few companies that has really, really taken transparency to the next level. I love the fact that I could go on your website, look at every layer of the diaper component and why it's there, understand where it comes from. No other diaper company does that. And no, they also don't disclose any of the things that as a parent, like you need to make that decision. Like, do I want to put plastic on my kids? Like, do I, like you ask all these questions, like, or you usually like you ask the question until like you have a problem, which is anyway. So I just wanted to commend you on that.
Look, I mean, in a way, they made me possible, right? Meaning, if we all have successfully lobbied our Congress representatives to make that change, and the diapers you bought that have such lovable, huggable, pamperable names said on them, this is built with polyurethane or polypropylene, and it had to be legally called plastic derriere covering, right? I wouldn't exist. I think that we would have forced that change like we did in organic food or makeup or non-GMO corn, right? We all said, look, we're not going to buy this monstrosity, right? But we haven't, because we haven't been told, right? We've been given beautiful colors, beautiful product names, fantastic engineering, great companies. And I don't have anything against them per se, right? I have a problem with transparency, right? So if you're gonna, not tell me what it is and make it hard for me to find out what it is, I don't think that's fair, right? That's all, right?
I totally agree with that. Thank you. One of the things that has always confused me about diapers in America is why it's acceptable for children to wear diapers until the age of 5. You touched on this earlier. And as a mom, like in my culture, growing up, like I was out of diapers by 1. Both of my babies, born in Canada, and then we moved to the States, my son was out of diapers before he was 1. My daughter, like she took a little bit longer. I think it was 14 or 15 months. But like, why is this like 5 years of diapering like completely okay? Why don't doctors speak out against it? Like, it's obviously possible. People all over the world are getting out of diapers way before 5. And, I really appreciate that you as a business person, you're in the business of selling diapers, but you're not doing the unethical thing of like almost lobbying to make people believe that it's okay for kids to be in diapers for 5 years. It's ludicrous to me.
It's literally ludicrous. And it's, we're doing quite the opposite. Not only driving education toward earlier separation from diapers. Look, there's been both lobbying, activity and so pretty heavy spending. One of the largest maker of diapers happens to be one of the largest consumer packaged goods companies in the world, who also sells you your household cleaning products and air fresheners, and right. So it's clearly tied to their economic success to keep you into diapers as long as possible. Now creating diapers and bed covers and any other possible product to extend sort of the longevity. I'll give you another very interesting fact. It's very hard to buy small diapers, small undies in US, right?
Yeah.
Most underwear manufacturers start at 3T, right? Basically 3+, right? So we know as parents that one of the, short of having your kids run around, unclothed, which is a great tool, have them wear a diaper, something next to skin really promotes, good diapering habits or lack of diapering habits. But you can't actually buy a pair of undies, right? That is not designed for 3+ year olds, right?
Yeah.
So clearly, we feel like we can take a leadership position there, both with partnering and bringing products there. We feel like just starting the dialogue of saying it's much easier than you think, and it's truly the most environmental positive thing you can do, right? But look, I mean, if I had to be negative, and I don't like to live negatively, but if I had to be negative, I would ask the question, who invented the flushable wipe, right? When did we become so lazy that taking a wipe and putting in a toilet, well knowing that is absolutely terrible in every possible way, terrible for the system it goes through, terrible for the planet, but we've done it because clever marketers have told us that that the act of just throwing it from here to there is too much, right? We should just toss it into a particular non-approved receptacle, right? So some of it is just our own tendencies, right, to do things the easiest way. Some of it is because we're told that that's acceptable, that there's no alternative, right? And I think there is an alternative. I think that early separation from diapers is possible, like I said, done worldwide, easily, right? And sure, there's particular examples where it's not that easy, right? Whereas I think, look, there's some other subjects I'm particularly interested in, like bedwetting, right? There's a number of kids, particularly boys, that have sort of late age, up to 8 or 10-year-olds, incidents of bedwetting, or even just difficult to control sort of daytime urination. Nobody wants to build products for them, right? Because it's a small segment of the market. But giving them with underwear-like products that they can feel, they don't have again, cute prints, but they're more designed to reduce the stigma of that. You do a sleepover, right? You need something that doesn't pigeonhole you as the kid that pees in bed. I think those are opportunities for companies to innovate, but I get it. It's hard when you can't sell it to the masses, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to just talk about the flushable wipe hoopla that happened.
I brought it up. Sorry. Yes.
Yes. No, it's great. And you guys do create these great wipes. And I want to tie it into your rediaper program because I want people to understand that. But, a few years ago, as many of us know, there was all these claims about these wipes are biodegradable. And then there was like this big catastrophe. I think the first one was in one of the sewers in Europe around London. And it continued to perpetuate, where we learned that when you dispose of these biodegradable wipes in the toilet, they don't actually biodegrade. So I would love for you to talk about, what is the appropriate way of, it's like compost, right? When you have a compost bin out back, like there's certain care that you have to take in the disposal of it. Can you talk about the waste management and disposal of diapers and why these guys are more sustainable?
Absolutely. That's clearly one of our favorite subjects, the one we get most crucified on, but it's okay, right? No great deed goes unpunished, right? Look, disposing of diapers is difficult, right? They contain not great material, and they're messy and they're hyper convenient for just tossing in the trash. Wipes, similarly, right? You wipe what you need to, and the toilet is right there typically, and seems like a good place for it, right? But the fact is that any product, even a one that's well built, let's assume that they're honest claims, they're truly biodegradable or truly compostable, and there's international standards to validate both. Let's for a second presume these are honest marketers. Often they're not, but let's presume they are. These products do require special care, right? Because they're not going to degrade just by you tossing in a landfill or just by you flushing in a toilet. Quite the opposite, right? Oftentimes, using biodegradable materials actually has the opposite impact, because generating bioplastic, as an example, generating a plant-based material can be more environmentally expensive than generating virgin plastic, right? It sounds counterintuitive, but let's say you're making something out of corn. Well, you have to grow the corn, transport it, right? Transform it, use energy to make it into a corn-based plastic or corn-based material, whereas you could have used oil to generate polyurethane and have a much shorter energy path from an energy usage. That's what we went and said, look, we're going to ask customers to willingly participate in this process that we're asking them to do, right? No, give them back to me, right? We've done it. We do it with our recycling, right? I mean, I don't think there's a reasonable consumer in the United States that believes that 100% of things they put in a recycling bin gets recycled. No, as a matter of fact, and it's easy to find. EPA publishes the data. less than 10% of the things you put in your recycling that gets recycled, but it's still 10%, right? It's something, right? We're asking our consumers to give our diapers and our wipes back. We're asking them to pay for that process. Objection being, why would I have to pay? But you pay to your city to dispose your garbage.
Yeah, we're
I
still
don't know of a
paying.
city that doesn't charge you to pick up your garbage, but you think I should do it for free. Look, I would love to come see your home once a week and just deal with your dirty diaper, but unfortunately, I have to pay a real human to come to your door and pick them up. I'm just being, facetious, but look, I'm asking you to pay less than it costs me to pick up the diapers from 20 metros. So in 20 cities in the United States, we go door to door, right? Big cities, San Francisco, Austin, Seattle, Portland, pick up the diapers, take them to a centralized facility, shred them and compost them commercially because our diapers are built majorly with plants, and then separate any parts that are uncompostable professionally, not, by throwing them into landfill, so that we can minimize the impact. It's been, I forgot now exact number, but the last time I checked, close to 12, 13 million pounds of diapers that didn't end up in a landfill. And I'll be first here to volunteer. Again, in full transparency. Is it for everyone? No, right? There's people who just want to buy a diaper because it's built with plants and it's a very responsible diaper. There's people who want to go the full Monty and say, no, I want to go the extra step and do pay extra because I understand the cost and the effort it takes to pick them up from my home, right? Take them to a centralized facility, shred them, compost them in 14, 16 weeks, right? And do it in a way that minimizes the impact. So we're letting customers kind of choose the level of participation in this process. But we're the only ones offering that. And to be honest, when I started this, people told me I was literally crazy. They told me that pundits told me, pundits I liked, that nobody would do this, that it's so counterintuitive what parents want. I'm very happy to report that in some cities like San Francisco, we have 4,000 families doing this. Now, that's a huge number of families who are, I guess, as crazy as I am, right? And they feel like getting your diapers on a curb is not that hard. You're doing it for your recycling, right? Doing it once a week, it's not that terrible, right? You put them in your garage, you put them somewhere, and we provide you with a bag to put them in. Let me come pick them up. Give me my, $10, $20 for pickup, depending on a city, and let me deal with them, right? Because you're happily paying your city $70 to $100 a month to dispose of your garbage, right? And that's what it is.
Well, I think it's naive for consumers to think that just because the garbage companies pick up their trash, that they don't need to worry about it anymore. It's not going to affect them because it really is circular. And if you think about it, well, where is that garbage going? And if my government is paying to ship our trash to China for them to deal with it, and I'm paying for that through taxes, like it's not that much of a stretch, I think if people did, like if I personally think this stuff should be mandated. Like
Agreed.
it should be the responsibility of people and households, their trash, how you get rid of it, what you use, how much waste you're creating. And if you have to pay someone 10, $20 for them to take away your dirty diapers, it might very well shorten how many years you use those diapers for, because now it's like a real material cost right in front of you.
I think put things in perspective, just seeing, like, I not to need more visual reminders as a parent, you got plenty, but, seeing the amount of garbage you're generating, right? You're generating a lot of garbage, right? And the fact that, maybe you can do it one, just every time it disposed, it kind of disappears, right? Out of mind, right? Out of sight, out of mind, right? I think it is a good reminder, right? We used to provide a cardboard box which contained a sort of liner for you to put the diapers in. People say, oh my God, I produced 80 pounds, right, this week of diapers. Yeah, that 80 pounds, again, doing this quick math, that's equivalent of each diaper is 1 pint of virgin oil. Think about it, 1 pint, 1 beer glass of virgin oil per diaper to make conventional diapers, right? Yeah. So if you change 50 diapers that week, which is low for newborn, you've used 50 pints of oil, right? Here's an interesting thing. When you have time, your viewers, go to YouTube, look for National Geographic expose on diapering. It's cleverly hidden from the public view, meaning it's not easy thing to find, but do yourself a favor, look for it and find that your little monster you gave birth to. Just kidding, right? We use 2 trees. We'll use 2 barrels of oil just in diaper plastics, right? And here's a very shocking number. If we could replace current diapers in circulation with plant-based alternatives that are safe and efficacious, like ours, but there's others as well. We're not the only ones. If we could replace oil-based diapers with plant-based alternatives, we could power 5 million cars with the energy savings, right? Look,
Wow.
we celebrate Elon, right, or others for bringing electric cars to the world, for putting a couple 100,000, right, non-fossil fuel cars on the road, millions, right? All great progress. Getting 5 million car equivalent, right, is within our reach, right, from just changing with our dollars, right, and with our choices from plant-based products to plant-based products. So I fundamentally believe that we have the ability to make these changes. And I do agree with you that spending $10, $20 a month, cancel Netflix. Joking, I like Netflix, but make savings someone else, because again, not to sound repetitive, but the investment you're making today in responsible diapering is better for your baby today, but it's better for your baby tomorrow.
Yeah, I love that. And as a founder who has also, I share your ethos and passion for environmental responsibility and human health. I know that one of the most difficult thing to overcome when you're doing something like what you're doing or I'm doing with my company is that shift in paradigm, that education process, allowing people to understand, the impact of the choices that they're making every single day. Is there one little piece of education that you like sharing, whether it's with your customers or our audience, that you have found that it makes a difference in helping shift that outlook on diapering and the diaper world?
Well, I need Leonardo DiCaprio to do a movie on diapering. I think that would make a difference. And I'm not even half joking. If you remember some years back when the Blood Diamond came out, and within days, every jewelry retailer in America had a sign saying these are not blood diamonds, right? Because the Hollywood was able to so vividly place the picture of what you buying an uncontrolled diamond means for the people who are enslaved to produce them, right? Nobody's enslaved making diapers, but you are actively fueling, right? One of the largest, some say third largest contributor to landfills by solid mass. And you're doing it willingly and happily every single day, right? So, we do need someone larger than us to tell the story. I tell this story quite frequently. You do a dinner party, and as you know, as a parent, you end up doing dinners with other parents, and you ask your friends, what's your diaper made from, and they look at you like you're crazy, right? They go, well, what do you mean? It's made from some kind of, I don't know, textile, right? Typically starts with I don't know, but then ends up with textile. And like you know now that the answer is no, right? It's made from pure plastic, right? Literally pure plastic. But that connection between the diaper being so soft and sold under such lovable name, right? And then it not being that responsible. Performance, yes. Absorbent, yes, right? But truly not responsible. That connection is missing, right? And we find that the more we preach, the less we get through, right? The preaching is hard, right? Because being parent is hard, and everybody preaches to you, right? So the last thing you want is someone to come over and tell you how you're also being a terrible human, right? For wrapping your child in plastic bags, even though you are, right? So we find that connecting the dots and getting the dots pretty close, but letting consumers connect them is the right choice, at least for us, right? Is to say, look, you can do little, right? You can buy products that are better packaged, right? Because you can tell that when something's packed in paper versus plastic, it has to be better, right? When something is built, we disclose the amount of plants, right? Go ask your current diaper company how much by percentage of the product is plant-based. They won't answer it, but if you look, you'll find it's 5, 10, 15%. Well, the next time you have steak potatoes, you can be vegan, right? Because you had a potato, right? It's not fair. And so you can kind of reach your own conclusion, right? So we think that given tidbits, right, smaller pieces of information as opposed to calling you a terrible human being is probably a smarter choice for us. And it is a smarter choice, right? We really want the parents to arrive to the conclusion that they can make small adjustments. Those small adjustments done across 8 million families with diaper can result in a very significant environmental impact.
Thank you. And I think, now that you have presented all of this choice to me, like looking back at my diaper days, I'm kind of like, oh man, I wish I would have thought about like using it like the cloth diapers in a hybrid mode, right? Like not all the time, but like maybe I could have saved myself a few diapers and, just doing the math of like, oh, well, even though I use, like, I think as parents, we always want to look for some sort of redemption, right? So even though I use some of those plastic diapers, I only use them for like a year, right? Instead of like 3 or 5 or whatever. But yeah, you're right. I think it's the delicate business being a parent, especially a new parent, and you don't want to come out of the gate feeling like a failure. But I think this is why we do what we do, right? We talk to people like you who are making change and informing our audience so that they can make better choices for themselves, or at least make choices that they can feel good about. I think my situation is, looking back now, I wish I knew what I know now, because I didn't think that diapers were not biodegradable or compostable. I feel like there's this misinformation or just lack of information and rumors. So at least you have the information, you go into it and you make the decisions, and then, you make decisions that you can feel good about.
Yeah, that's how we started this whole chat. Look, I mean, I fundamentally as a person, which translates into a founder, which then translates into a business owner. There's such a thing on a larger business, but I fundamentally believe that whatever the cultural, economical choice for your family is the right choice. You should never let anybody push you into any choice, including using natural products, right? If you fundamentally believe that that's what your family, wants and needs, that is the right choice for you, right? You shouldn't be shamed into any of this, right? Because look, you have to get through these first couple of years of baby's existence, safe, right?
Yeah.
Healthy.
That's the priority.
You have so many other considerations, right? I am just begging families, right, to also, if all things being equal, if baby's healthy, mom is healthy, you're safe, you're right, out of violence, right? If all things are great, right, or stable, then if you can, make a choice that is more responsible, because you're helping me as well, and I'm helping you, and we're helping all each other, right? Because if we all believe that we're gonna leave a planet to our children, which we don't have to believe, it's a fact, right? Let's leave them a better one. I would like my children to meet a dolphin, right?
I love that. We'll end there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And thank you for Sergio for being a part of this conversation about love and babies. We'll have the links to Diaper and any other goodies that Sergio wants to share with us, maybe a link to the documentary. We'll include that in the show notes as well as the email. Until next time.